are already trying to make this awakening and awareness towards the vital importance of absolute justice, not only in general human relationship, but particularly in politics. Unless politics becomes moral only to the extent, not in other sense, they may enjoy themselves as they please, but I ask politicians, for God's sake, to return to the values of absolute justice. If they return to the values of absolute justice, I say not values because absolute justice is singular, but many a value is created out of this in ordinary life. It governs your economy, it governs your social relationship, it governs your politics, international relationship, etc., etc. So if one only determines to adhere to the demands of absolute justice, then peace will automatically be established. It would be like rising of the sun. You don't say somehow bring out the sun and then we will work towards establishing the day. You see, that's one and the same thing. And to my understanding of human affairs, absolute justice is the other name for peace. And the society, the modern society, is not ready to accept that because it continues to clash with the national interest of people everywhere in the world. The British people are known for their natural dispensation towards justice. They rule in India, may be blamed and may be abused, may be accused of excesses, etc., by the extremists everywhere. But when you compare the history of the French colonies with the British colonies, the history of Dutch colonies with the British colonies, Belgian colonies with the British colonies, if you have any iota of justice in you, you would say positively that the British maintained the principles of justice in their colonies far more meticulously and honestly than in case of other European colonizations. Yet, these people themselves have changed so much that even justice is fading out fast from their internal relationship. As far as the international relationship is concerned, justice was never entertained as a valid coin by the politicians anywhere in the world. But I'm talking of erosion within the British society. The justice, the absolute justice is fast fading out and is being eroded. So what of international justice? You see, whenever the question arises as to the relationship between the Britain and some other countries, it would be a mad politician who decides according to the dictates of absolute justice, despite the fact that that is against the British interest. Whenever the outcome of application of absolute justice is against the national interest of any state, without doubt, without hesitation, the politician would decide in favor of a measure which will be against justice but in favor of the nation. Is that right or wrong? So if that is right, how can we expect peace? Impossible.
Right. And the second 90%.
Yes.
After watching that documentary on the television, why in Pakistan, why is there so heightened? In Pakistan, Middle East?
But this, I'm not going to permit you this question, but I have a right to ask a question.
Right.
So let me ask a question.
Right.
What did Jesus Christ do to be so ill-treated? And what did his followers do to be so viciously persecuted, not only for one generation, but for 3 centuries continuously, to be fed to the wild beasts, to be burnt alive in their homes? What was the crime? Was it a crime to say, if somebody strikes on one cheek, offer the other one? The persecution always ensues from the deep realization of the society belonging to the old order that a new powerful order is being born. It is going to wipe out the old order of wrong attitudes. And the leadership is going to change hands. And nothing can stop it except sword, except persecution. Then they are compelled to take coercion as a weapon of fighting the new ideologies which challenge from the point of morality the ills of the society, not the good points of the society. And they know deep inside. That is why the Holy Quran says that we'll punish them. Because we know that they reject the truth despite knowing within, deep in their hearts, that this is truth. Because the truth has the quality of emerging victorious ultimately. It may suffer for 1 century or 2, maybe 3, but it would emerge victorious, and that is the danger felt by the old order, the custodians of the old order, that compels them to take to sword, unfortunately. That is exactly what happened in case of Ahmadis.
In other words, truth will always win.
Of course it will.
I got my answer.
It will prevail. Thank you.
Hazur, now we have come to the end of the questions from our guests.
Now, the time is also over, almost,
right.
But I would invite the first questioner out of the courtesy I owe him. I told him once the first circle is over, I will invite him again. But again, for one question, please.
And that will be the last question.
That will be the last
Mr. Yasmin Khan will say a few words.
Thank you. Yes, I'm coming, I know. The private secretary is informing me that it's time for my next engagement, but after this question, inshallah, I'll follow. Welcome.
Sir, I'm grateful to you that you allowed me for another time.
Thank you.
Now, the question is slightly connected with Jesus Christ, and reincarnation is our, Mr. Singh said. So, according to my personal belief, and according to the verses in the Quran that I've read, they say, Allah said, for arsalna ruhana fatamasala laha basharan saviyya.
That's right.
That means we for arsalna, we sent our spirit to Mary, and that spirit became a kind of bashar.
An apparition.
Bashar, yes.
Right.
And then that bashar, that he spoke to Mary, and you, as you said, biologically or this in any other way, that Mary was an ordinary woman. Then in Surah Al Imran, there are verses.
I didn't say, I think, ordinary
Yes,
woman. I said
biologically.
she was a woman,
No.
human being,
Yes, yes.
but with a special apparatus provided within
Yes, yes.
her reproductive system.
Yes. But
Yes, that is what I said.
yes. So she was a very special woman, because in Surah Al Imran it is written that food was being sent to her from heaven. And when Zakaria asked her where this food has come from, she says from Allah. And if she was a very special woman, then she was ordered by Allah to march towards the east. It's written in Surah Maryam.
Correct, I agree.
And then this verse is there that for arsalna ruhana fatamasala laha basharan saviyya.
That's right.
So there is no mention of angel. There is a mention of his own ruh of Allah.
You see, the word ruh,
Ruh Allah. Yeah.
the word ruh is
Yes.
explained in the Holy Quran itself.
Yes, yes.
Why don't you read that verse as well?
I read it.
The Holy Quran says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ
No.
الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي.
No. And secondly.
No, please.
Yes.
Now listen to my answer. I have reminded you of another verse of the Holy Quran which speaks of the nature of ruh. Whenever the word ruh is used, what it means.
Sir, ruh of Allah.
No, I'm telling you. The Holy Quran says that يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ. Ar-ruh is that ruh which we are talking about. It's not ruhun.
For arsalna ruhana
يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ. Listen to
fatamasala laha
this verse,
basharan
please.
saviyya. Yes.
I'm talking of
Yes, yes.
There's another verse which explains the nature of ruh to eye.